It's your girl, Kaylin Sine. If anyone is wondering why I had to take another take, it's because I said my own YouTube username wrong, alright? I think that's kind of telling that how I haven't really been posting like anything, because I literally forgot my own YouTube username. That's really bad. I'm so sorry for not uploading. Honestly, I can just blame it on college pretty much. I mean, and procrastination, not gonna lie, but college so far, it's like, it's been so fun, you guys. Like, I'm really enjoying myself. You have no idea how happy I am to be out of high school. Let's freaking go. Yeah, your girl is a freshman in college right now. I started a little bit later than everyone else. I didn't start until my spring semester, instead of fall like I was supposed to. But I'll probably save that for another video, honestly. Like, dude, I can literally just go on a whole tangent about the stuff that's been happening as to why I haven't been uploading. Anyways, that's not what you guys are here for. You guys are here for the art warm-up. So yeah, I guess you can just get right into it. So I guess I can just break down what my thought process is when I'm actually drawing it. And I'm gonna do my best to explain this, like, as in detail as possible, because if I'm being honest, I really suck at explaining things, like, ever. So yeah, anyways. So right now you can see that I'm just using the select tool to pretty much just get rid of all the little, like, sketchiness in the background, just to make it way easier for me to, like, know where the form is. Because I think if I don't do that, it becomes, like, it starts to look really muddy, which can make it way harder to do line art later on. A great tip that I learned when it comes to, like, having really sketchy line art is to make sure it's small. Like, don't make your sketch too thick, like the line's too thick. And yeah, I know it's way easier to make your sketch when the lines are way thicker, because, you know, there's really less room for error. But honestly, you really do have to kind of, like, get out of your comfort zone and make the lines way smaller. Like, even for this video, I was struggling to keep my lines small. Like, you have no idea how much I wanted to make my lines bigger just so it would be easier. But at the same time, though, the downside of having, like, thick lines is just, like, it becomes really muddy, like I said. Like, for the little details, like the eyes, the nose, the mouth, basically like the face, there's really no enunciation there, honestly. Like, it just makes it kind of ugly. But yeah, so let me see. With my line art, if you have Procreate, I forgot exactly what brush it's called, but it's in the airbrush section where it looks kind of like see-through-ish, and it's not airbrushy, like blurry on the edges. It's really sharp. But it reminds me of Likelihood's art. I'm sure you guys have heard of her, but oh my goodness, her art is so freaking pretty. Honestly, when I got on Pinterest and I saw her art for the first time, she was the one who really made me want to start drawing people. Because if you've been following this channel, I normally just draw cats or, like, animals and stuff. And honestly, that was even before the channel. I drew, like, animals pretty much all my art career. And the thing that made me really want to transition to drawing people is because I wanted to open up, like, more opportunities for myself if I actually did break into the industry. Because obviously I can't just draw animals when I'm trying to, like, work on shows. And plus, I just wanted to challenge myself. I remember as a kid, like, my parents, or my dad specifically, would be like, Kaylin, or Kaylin. I guess you know my first name, whatever. Anyways, but he'd be like, Kaylin, why don't you draw people? And at this time, I was just obsessed with freaking warrior cats. I've been obsessed with warrior cats since I was, like, in 2nd grade. It's just been recently, like, I don't know, like senior, well, not senior, like junior, sophomore year is when I stopped like really caring about warrior cats all that much. Anyways, sorry, I just went off topic. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, my dad was like, yeah, Kaylin, why don't you draw people? And yeah, I was just drawing like cats and warrior cats, and I used to like make comics and stuff, which I would totally love to do a comic again. I have not drawn a comic since like I was a kid. I think it was maybe 7th or 8th grade when I stopped drawing like comics. Oh my gosh, I'm not even gonna get into that story. I do not want to be here all day. But yeah, anyways, so yeah, my parents were like, why don't you start drawing animals? And I was like, start drawing people. And I was like, I don't want to draw people. Like, people are boring. They look ugly. But yeah, let me see. I guess the first time I did start drawing people, I was probably like, what, 12 maybe? It was Young Justice, by the way, that made me want to start animating people. Likelihood Art is the one that made me want to like actually draw people like art wise, but animation wise, Young Justice is the one that really got me into wanting to do animation. I really wish I had my old animations, like the first animation that I had when I tried, and it looked so bad. I remember showing my parents too, and they were like, you know how parents are, they were like, oh my gosh, that looks so good. It did not look good at all. Guys, I tried to animate in Ibis Paint X, and if you use Ibis Paint, there's no animation function, so you can imagine how ugly it looked, okay? But yeah, I do still have those old animations too, from like, what, 2017 when I was like in 7th or 8th grade or whatever. Man, I love going back to see my old art, just to see how like far I've come. Oh my gosh, I'm not even talking about anything. Oh my gosh. Okay, I was supposed to be talking about my animations. My art. Oh yeah. So this is the next piece right now that I'm focusing on. Oh, guys, when I tell you this freaking sweater, I spent more time on this dang picture than I really needed to. Jeez. I definitely need to start practicing more on like patterns, pretty much. Like, I don't really go out of my comfort zone when it comes to clothing. Like, I think I have a pretty basic understanding of how folds wrap around the human body, but when it comes to patterns and how they wrap around the clothes too, girl, I struggle. Okay, it makes me look like I've never drawn a single picture in my life. Okay, it's something. But that's why we practice, you know? Like, that's the point of being an artist, practicing and like going back and seeing your old artwork. And I would suggest everyone like to just look at your old art and not to compare yourself to others, because even now I still struggle with that, where I'm like, man, my art could look so much better. And that's not a bad mindset to have. Obviously, you want to improve. Like, even now, sometimes I find myself having that feeling of like, well, I know what I'm doing, I don't really need to do this. But no, like, you do need to do this. Like, you need to practice your art. Like, it's been recently where I've started practicing, like doing an art warm-up before my actual art. Like, what, in the past 7 years of animating and drawing, I've never done that, like, ever. So that's something that I really want to like focus on and, you know, expand on, I guess. I really want to see my progress though. I've actually been having like a little journal notebook of my art warm-ups. I will totally try to make more videos of like showing you guys what my art warm-ups look like. I've only been doing this for like, guys, I'm gonna be transparent with you, I've only been doing art warm-ups for like 3 days now, okay? Before that, I have not been doing any art warm-ups, okay? I just jumped in. And oh my goodness, like, when you do that, when you just jump in and you have no warm-ups before you start animating or drawing, I swear it feels like you've lost like years of practice. Like, practice drawing. Like, I feel like I don't know, it's bad. Anyways, moving on. Sorry, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so for this piece right now, I'm just doing Angela. Yeah, I just saw a picture of her and I was like, oh my gosh, she is so pretty, I want to draw her. That's basically what most of my reference photos are. Like, oh my gosh, this person is so drawable, I want to draw them. Yeah, if an artist is ever like, oh my gosh, like, I want to draw you, take that as a huge compliment, because that probably means you have like an interesting face or like a symmetrical face or something, I don't know. Yeah, so as you can see, I completely just erased all of that pattern because, oh my gosh, I did not like how it turned out. I tried to go for more of a simplistic look because I just assumed that all the patterns just kind of took away from the main focus of the sweater, like the form, and it looked too distracting. So I really tried my best to kind of simplify it in a way. Yeah, that even now I could definitely improve with the patterns and stuff. So the next picture we're going on to is this lady right here. I was scrolling on Pinterest and obviously I was like, oh my gosh, so pretty, I need to draw her to get some practice in. And I think I did pretty good with this one, actually. I was not expecting, like, oh my gosh, I know this might sound so negative, like me saying I wasn't expecting it to turn out this way. But keep in mind, I have not been practicing on my art in a while because of college. And since this is the summertime, like before my summer semester starts, I still have, like 2 more weeks before I have to go back in. So now I'm just honestly trying to I'm just trying to use this time wisely and not take it for granted and try to draw as much as possible before I have to go in. So right now, normally before I start drawing, I like to do the form first, just to get all the basic shapes and stuff in there, so I don't like overwhelm myself with all the details, which if you don't do that, I definitely would suggest doing like the little skeleton part and then adding in like your shapes and stuff, and then adding in like the form of the body, then the clothes, then the hair, and all the little details. And I know that sounds kind of tedious, but trust me when I tell you, it makes it look way much better than just jumping in. Unless you really do have enough experience to do that. Me personally, I can't do that, I'm sorry. I really do not know how people can draw without like a sketch under. Like, those are literally like art gods in my eyes. Like, how do people do that where they can just draw with no sketch under? Like, bro, what are you drinking? Like, let me have some. Anyways, but yeah, so for now I'm just doing the eyes. I was kind of hesitant on the eyes because they were not turning out how I wanted them to. And this, oh my gosh, based on just how the eyes were turning out, I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna look ugly, isn't it? But I'm super glad I kept persisting, because I have a really bad habit of, if it's not looking right, I just completely stop. Like, I just stop the drawing, delete it, and then just never touch the drawing ever again in life. And I just stop drawing for like the whole day. But no, I really want to push myself now to where if it's not looking right, don't just give up right then and there. Keep going and try to figure out what you did wrong. Like, try to fix it up instead of just giving up. So that's what I did, and I'm super glad I kept going instead of just giving up like right then and there, because I wouldn't have been able to, I guess, get this pretty drawing. So, but yeah, I guess right now I can just kind of let the video speak for itself. There's not really much more to explain at this very given moment, so yeah, I'm just gonna let this video play out for a little bit. that I knew I would enjoy when I chose this picture, aka her hair. There's just something about drawing hair that's just so fun to do, especially like, you know, big poofy hair, like I guess black hair specifically. But I just really love drawing her hair so much. It was so fun just making it all flowy and stuff. And you know, when it comes to hair, I definitely need to improve on like straight hair, which I guess for a lot of people that might be like the polar opposite, where they're like, oh, black hair is harder to draw. And I'm like, really? I find straight hair way harder to draw. I mean, obviously probably because I don't practice it as much, but straight hair is just, I don't know, it goes in so many like different places and stuff. Once we get a little bit later into the video, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna go a little bit more into depth when I get to it, because the next drawing has more wavy-ish hair, which I also don't really practice on. Normally, I do like 4C to like 4A, 3C or whatever. I mean, I'm not sure if everyone knows what the hair chart is. I'm sure I'll probably insert a photo. But yeah, 4C is basically black hair, basically, in short terms. But yeah, so like I said, with his hair, I wanted to really challenge myself, because straight hair, like I said, is a little bit harder for me, because it's not in one big shape like poofy hair will be. Like, you can just draw one big shape for poofy hair, and then you can like go into the details basically a little bit later on in the drawing. But when it comes to straight hair, you actually have to have the form fully planned out. Like, you have to know exactly how the hair is gonna fall. Like I'll also probably insert another photo in here too. But what's something that's I find really funny is the fact that the hair wasn't the thing that tripped me up this drawing. It was this angle. Like I said earlier, I'm trying to get more practice, like not being so comfortable, like getting out of my comfort zone instead of just doing the same few angles that I normally do. This 3/4 angle is probably one of the hardest angles ever that I've been struggling with for like a while now. Let's just say it's been a while now that I've been struggling with this freaking angle, okay? But I think this is the first time where I'm actually tackling it head on instead of just kind of avoiding it, pretty much. So from my basic understanding, I know that with the nose is basically the hard part for me. So you see how the nose bridge basically cuts off the other eye on the other side, where you can see some of the eye, like part of it, but not fully, like the whole eye. That right there trips the heck out of me. Like, literally, that's the hardest part ever. And you know what? Looking back on this drawing, I really should have left it alone, like where it is right now. It actually looks pretty good. But then I start to get self-conscious of how it looks, and I'm like, this looks nothing like the picture. So I try to fix it up as much as I can, and I ended up making it just goes downhill, okay? Let's just be honest here. Well, for me personally. But the eyes, I tried to give him more like Asian eyes because the guy in the picture is Asian, of Asian descent. So his eyes go more downwards, like very cat eye, very sleek. And I don't think I've practiced like Asian anatomy as well, which I really need to practice, like other races' anatomy and stuff. So yeah, I mostly just do, I guess, like black anatomy. So I definitely do want to try to expand that more, because it's really interesting seeing all the different features that everyone has. Like, it's so cool and eye-opening, and I love learning about other cultures and stuff. Like, when I do these drawings and stuff, I really feel as though you definitely need to know the history behind it as well, just so you can get a better feel of what you're drawing. That's like even with animation too. Before you start doing the animation, you have to know the feel of what you're animating. Like you have to know how much this object is going to weigh, how much is this going to affect the other object that it might run into. Like I said, when I was animating warrior cats, most of the time how I got better movement is if I studied cat movement. Like I know that's so obvious, but yeah, I don't know. But like I said, definitely need to start like studying other cultures and stuff and drawing other races, just to get that practice in, because you know I feel like that would definitely be great to help diversify my work. And I think that's just common sense too, you know, expanding it, like go out of your comfort zone of what you normally see. Obviously I draw mostly black people because duh, I'm black, so I know what I look like. So I guess it's just easier for me to understand what features that I already have. But obviously when it comes to other races, you actually have to research it and making sure that you're doing it correctly. Nothing that's just like, what's the word? Like stereotype. I would never want to draw anything that looks stereotypey, because big no-no. Especially as an artist, because you know, art, it helps bring people in. Like art is supposed to be relatable. Even if you might not look like that person, I feel like you should always still have that in your portfolio, like in your work. And I think that would definitely help improve your art too. Like basically having an understanding of different features, especially like in character design, which I definitely, you know what, that's another video I can do actually. I'm pretty into character design, but I would definitely want to expand that too. The common denominator, me expanding my stuff, like getting out of my comfort zone, which will inevitably help my art grow at a pace that I want it to. Because my art improvement was massive during 2020 and 2021. But yeah, anyways, so here's the final product. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!